Hi, you guys. Today is October 2nd. So, just to give you guys a little backstory, um, I started again working back in December of 2021. I took like 2.5 months off of completely not working. Prior to that, um, I was working at Kohl's and Amazon to get by. But in April of 2021, I did actually quit my full-time job. Okay. And it was a good paying job. I loved it. But my emotions, my depression, I would cry going to work. I was there for 9 years. Okay. And I was like, enough is enough. It was just an ongoing cycle, okay, of me not wanting to get out of bed, always crying when I have to go to work, just not wanting to do anything. So that was as of April of 2021, okay? Um and then as I mentioned, I was just working at Amazon and Kohl's. I was doing Amazon Fresh, which is like the Amazon Prime Now, where we would get customers groceries together. And then the Amazon Flex people would actually make the delivery, okay? I did that, but then I was also working at Kohl's, and I was working as like a stockroom associate, where we would, unload the truck and, put the stock out, from the truck in regards to like home goods. And that was cool. It was cool. What ended up happening was I ended up stopping that job just completely. um, and I didn't give them any notice. I was getting paid $10 an hour at my full-time job with the differential, because I used to work from 3 to midnight. I was getting paid around $30 an hour, almost close to $30 an hour. So yeah, I left a good paying job, a job that I actually liked, but it wasn't worth to me, after all of these years, it wasn't worth me compromising my mental health, okay? It wasn't worth it to me at all. Do I miss the job? Yes, I do. Can I get rehired? No, I can't, because I just went quick cold turkey. I didn't even think I could give a 2-week notice. It was just like I was talking myself up to it and your girl just left. So anyways, coming down to December, so October through December 15th, when I started my part-time job, it's work at home as well. During those 2.5 months, I just, worked off of my savings. And that was okay. I just wanted to give myself completely just time off from no jobs, no little side part-time jobs. Now, this job that I work at, I only work 4 hours per day, Monday through Friday. I get paid $17.50 an hour. It's just customer service, inbound calls, and I get paid semi-monthly from the 15th and the last day of the month. So my paychecks are around $650 per paycheck. Sometimes it's a little bit more, sometimes it's a little bit less. But needless to say, rough estimate, I get paid in total per month at my part-time job of 20 hours per week, 4 hours per day, Monday through Friday, is around, for the whole month, $1,300. Sometimes it's a little bit more, but that's what I go off of. Now, $1,300, as you guys can see, will cover my regular expenses, like my monthly fixed expenses. But I always knew that with my variable expenses, I may not be able to cover the full amount. So what I ended up doing was, because when you're in training is full-time. So I did put some money away with my full-time paychecks when I was in training. And I had let me see. I have it all documented here. Okay, we had $574.97. So that was from my final full-time paycheck. That's how much we had left over. But this right here was the $6,000 from my income tax. So in 2022, when we got income tax returns, I ended up getting like 6,300. Now, in the back of my mind, I'm like, Candace, you're not going to be in training forever full time. You're going to have to adjust working with a lower income. And I'm used to that, y'all. If you guys have been following me, I have been documenting my budget journey for a while now, for years, okay? You guys have seen me go from some ups and some downs. You guys have seen me save up to like $32,000 within like less than a year and a half. All of that, okay? So this is nothing new. You guys have seen me, be on short-term disability, waiting for short-term disability being approved and not having any income. You guys have seen all of that, okay? But what can I say? What I'm trying to say here is that I like to be prepared. It's not just like, oh, I just want to work part-time. No, I knew being part-time, I could do it. First of all, I knew I was going to have an income tax return because I made like less than 20,000 in 2021. So I knew my income tax return was going to be a little bit higher. And I know my expenses. I'm currently not in consumer debt. The only debt I do have is my car payment. Back in March of 2021, I did end up buying my son a car. Now, he's only 16. He doesn't even have his driver's license just yet. But my whole thing was I wanted to buy my son a car. And I knew I could do it. Now, if I was at my full-time job, y'all, still, that car would have been paid off by now. But so be it. I left in April. So yeah, that's the only debt that I have. A little bit less than 10,000 owed on it. I could pay it off right now. I do have money in savings, which I have a whole different video on my, my savings, like in I guess emergency fund. This right here, this money right here is not from my emergency fund. This is strictly for me to get through the year, and I explained that a while ago, okay? So, going to today's date, and through these past couple of months in 2021, you guys know I had get a car repair. I had to pay a little bit over $900 to pass inspection with my car. My car is paid off in full. It's been paid off for years now, okay? Years. I don't plan on getting a new car anytime soon. I want to ride it till the wheels fall off. I have over 220 something thousand, I think, or 230,000 miles. My car is a 2009 Hyundai Sonata. And what else is there? So yeah, this is what we have in our savings as of right now. I bought my son a new mattress. We had a huge car payment, not car payment, but a fixture for my car. I know when I go through my there was some other stuff that needed to be fixed with my car. It wasn't major, but they was like, you should get it fixed. And I'm like, right now, I don't have the money to do that. I mean, I do, but I'm like, it's not major. It's not affecting me driving. It's not affecting the car. I will wait on it. And I think that's going to be like $1,000. We'll get to that next year. Okay. But those are like the high expenses that have come out of this, okay, out of that 6,500. Those are the big ticket items. My son's mattress, and which was only like $200 to $300. I think it was like around the $300 mark. But this is how much we have left to get us through the end of the year, and I think we can get through the end of the year with this. I hope so, but we shall see. Now, besides this, you guys, my emergency fund, I have a little bit over $16,000 still left in there. So I'm not worried about that. That will get me through like roughly through like a year or so, um, or less, a little bit over less than a year probably. So I'm not worried about that. That's just a backup. So where am I right now? So we're talking about my October budget. So I've been out of work since August 15th, you guys. How can I say it? I'm feeling better now. I will say that I'm feeling better now. My anxiety is not through the roof. Like, I would feel so like my body would be racing, I would feel like I'm going to pee myself. It was just not a good feeling. Something I haven't felt before. One thing I do want to mention, that in December of 2021, I did also stop my depression medication as well. And the reason for that is because two of the medications I was on, Medicaid said that they would no longer cover it unless, there was like a pre-authorization. Because in the past, when I was working at my full-time job, you have a job, you can get these better medications. Now I'm on Medicaid. Medicaid covered it for a couple of months, but after a while they was like, nope, we're going to cut off these two medications and we will not approve them anymore. I got a letter in the mail. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to quit cold turkey. And that's what I did. December of 2021, I quit cold turkey. And I will say that since I quit in 2021, December of 2021, on my medications, I felt good, you guys. I finally felt like me. Okay, it's weird, but I finally felt like me. But a couple of things I noticed is that my memory went out the window. Like, I can't hardly remember nothing. Now, I was having an issue with that before, but being on my medication, it's really hard for me to remember things. I feel like I don't articulate words or my sentences right. I feel like I don't sound right. It's just a lot when I was off of my medication. So, fast forward to August 15th. You guys, I was like, this job, between my anxiety, this job is not my ideal job, okay? I was so happy to get a part-time job, decent pay of $17.50 an hour. And I was just like, I don't know about this job. Like, I'm going back to this part of me that I'm like, I just need to quit. But I'm like, Candace, versus quitting, this is not you talking. Like, you can get through the job. And what I mean that this job is not ideal, I feel like it's a smaller company. The other company I worked with, it was a major company. This company is smaller. It's only regional, right? For 3 states. So it's smaller. We have smaller amount of people for customer service. But the training, you guys, the training, it's like every call you get is something that you have never dealt with before. And I always just felt like I was not prepared. Now, at my other job, I felt like I had all of the tools, okay? I had all of the tools to look up things, to get familiar with things. At this job that I'm at right now, there's no tools, okay? There's nothing to look up. You have to ask management. They will answer you, but there's nothing to look up. Like, how are you supposed to learn and be self-sufficient if these questions, or being in customer service, we as associates do not have somewhere that we can go to find out things for ourselves? I just dislike it. I feel like since I've been there, people have left, okay? People say how disorganized it's been. The people that have been there the longest have been people that have been there through the mergers of different, places that they have taken over. There's been a lot of mergers with this company. And I feel like those are the people that are there. And it's just crazy, you guys. It's just crazy. And I felt like I was never getting anywhere. Like I was never able to I'm not retaining anything. Thus in turn my anxiety was going through the roof. And one day back on like August the 12th, and through that weekend, because August the 12th was a Friday, through the weekend I'm like, Candace, you just can't keep going like this. Think you're gonna, like, your heart is beating fast. It wasn't healthy, you guys. I was like, we're gonna try to, get on short-term disability versus me quitting. This is an issue that I have dealt with, not as much as the anxiety part, but I was wanting to start not even going into work. I was written up for my attendance already. They was like, make sure, if you're gonna need some time off, let us know. And I'm like, with depression, you don't know when you wake up if you're gonna need that day off. I can't know in advance. So anyways, with that, I was like, Candace, you're gonna be on the verge of losing your job, because on Monday I was gonna call out. On the 15th, I was gonna call out. And I did. And I'm like, Candace, you're gonna get in trouble. You're gonna get a written now. And I'm like, versus me getting a written for my mood and what I'm dealing with, let's try to apply for short-term disability. So I applied for short-term disability. I first went to my doctor. Okay. I went to my doctor. Now my Medicaid, okay. Back in April, they gave me a new Medicaid card. Not the Medicaid card, but I have Medicaid, but I also have like the other part of it, which is like I picked United Healthcare. And on the card, they changed my PPO, my primary care physician. I think that's what it's called, the primary care physician. So I went to my appointment, and they was like, this name on the card is not the doctor that you set up an appointment with. It's in a totally different location, and not even within the place I usually go to. Now, the reason why I wanted to go to this doctor per se is because when I was with my full-time job in the past, like in 2000, after like 2013, after my husband passed away, this was the doctor that I was seeing. So they have a record of my depression and anxiety issues, okay, for years. So I was like, I'd rather go to a place where, my doctor is familiar with me. So anyways, I set up an appointment. I got there, and it's like, we can't allow you to see him because on your card it's a different primary care physician. I'm like, or it's PCP, primary care physician. I'm like, okay, no problem. I ended up calling United Healthcare. I got my doctor updated, and I had to reschedule, which was like a week out. That was the earliest I could see him. So I got an appointment the following week, and now it's like 2 weeks of me being out of work, okay? And I'm like, okay. I see him now with this new company. They were like, we just need to see, just have them send over the doctor's notes. That's it. Like with my previous job, they would send me the form, and I would print out the form and bring it in for my appointment. So I understood what was needed, right? With this new company and their different insurance company that they use, they send everything directly to the doctors. But on the information that they send me, there was like, just make sure, we just need a copy of the doctor's notes. That was it. So I went to my appointment, and now you figure this is like, what is this? It's like 2 weeks in, and I'm waiting. I got to my doctor's appointment. And I'm like, I don't see, first of all, it took them like a week to dictate the doctor's notes. So you figure the doctor, okay, so the doctor does like a recording of his visit and somebody transcribes it, right? And put it into a document. So I'm like, okay, no problem. That took like a week. And then I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting for like another week. And I'm like, I called the insurance company. They said, oh, we did get the doctor's notes, but he didn't put in there when you'll be returning back to work. He just put in there that he's going to follow up with you in a month, you know, and that he put you on new medication and what you were in there for. And I'm like, that's what you asked for, right? She's like, I mean, if he puts in there that you're out of work for this time, then I can accept it. But there was also another form for him to fill out. And I'm like, now, in this document stuff, I don't get to see anything that they sent him. So I'm like, okay. So now I have to set up another appointment to see him and tell him that there should have been a form to fill out. So I get there, I set up another appointment. It's like another week out. So now we're like on 4 weeks, you guys, okay? Got the appointment, had to pay $25 for this form to be filled out. Now, if I would have known in the beginning that in my file that they sent over that there was a form to be filled out, I could have stated that. But here we go, you guys. So I get my doctor to fill it out. And so that first week, it's been sent. Like, I sent over pictures of it, and the doctor's office faxed it over that day. So they said they will be sending it over that day via fax. So I'm like, they got it 2 ways, the one I sent and the one that they sent. So either way, they're going to get it. A week went past. I didn't hear anything. Second week went past. I'm like, what's going on? So I called. I leave a voicemail for my my intake or my my claims specialist that's dealing with my case. I leave a message on another Monday, and through that week I don't hear anything. My job ends up calling me. It's like, oh, you know, we haven't heard anything from, you know, disability. And I'm like, well, I called them, I left a message, that's it. I ended up calling again. It went straight to voicemail for her. So I'm like, okay, Candace, it's almost been like 2 weeks now. You're just going to call the main line. So I ended up calling the main line last week on a Monday. And they were like, oh, and this is not my intake specialist. Okay, this is somebody totally different. I've never spoke to them. I just like, hey, what's going on with my case? I said I left a voicemail for my case manager. I haven't heard back from her. They was like, oh, I see that we got, you know, this new form in. We have to actually send this over to a nurse to review and see if we can get it approved. She said for something like this, for like depression and anxiety, we just can't go ahead and approve it ourselves. This is something that has to be, you know, reviewed by a nurse and see if we can get it approved. And I'm like, fine, that's okay with me. So that was last week. She said it should only take 1 to 2 days to hear back from them. That was as of Monday of last week. No call, no update on my case at all, you guys. So, needless to say, I don't have any money here. I don't know what's going to go on. What if they don't approve my short-term disability? You know, I've been out of work for a month and a half now. Okay, so what if they don't approve it? I'm most likely not going to have a job. So that's what's in the back of my head. I don't understand why they wouldn't approve it, but needless to say, that's always in the back of my head. What if, you know, these companies do not approve what the doctor wrote down and so forth? Now, my doctor said that he would like me to be out from 2 to 4 weeks or return back to work in 2 to 4 weeks. Now, that was as of the 29th. Because as I mentioned, there was a whole bunch of issues the week prior, right? With me trying to get in an appointment with him, finally getting an appointment, him not seeing the form because obviously the front desk people never gave him the form. It was just a whole mess. So needless to say, y'all, I don't know what's going on with my income. I just know that, you know, the last day of September came and I did not get a deposit into my checking account. So there we go. All right. So what I'm going to do next is just do a video on how I'm planning on budgeting with no income. Okay, that's going to be my video that will be upcoming. I just wanted to get one of you guys to know what's been going on. You know, for me, that's why it's hard to ask for help sometimes, because it's just a limbo. And even with my full-time job, it was always a limbo, a waiting game. But it's never been like this at this job. As I mentioned in a previous video, I don't know what's going on with my person at all, like my claim specialist. I don't know what's going on. I hope she's okay. She may be out of the office herself dealing with something. Who knows, you know? But like somebody else should be carrying her load. So we'll see how this all works out. I will keep you posted, but for right now, I'm going to make another video to show you guys how I plan on budgeting with no income. So stay tuned for that. Thank you guys for watching, and hopefully you guys have a great October, a wonderful October. So I will talk to you soon. Bye.